Good day, everybody. It's me, Zobley. Today, I've got a very exciting special video for you. It's not that fucking exciting, to be honest, but we're trying out the single button assistant. So, playing Frosty K, obviously, right now. We are playing the Shattered build, because I can't imagine this is going to do too well as Breath. So, yeah, we're doing a +12 Floodgate. So, have a look. So, one thing that I do pick up on straight away is the fact that the button doesn't change. I don't know if that's just a bug for my UI or something like that, but you can see the button right in the little corner there. Well, you see where there's that Destiny K, well, if you're looking at my action bars, you can see that I'm certainly spamming one button. That is the button there that's changing. So, as you can see here, 11 mil. That's not good. That's quite poo. It also just sends stuff. Just because I can't see what my ability is going to be next, I can't position properly. It sends off like your whelps and the big dragon, Frostworm's Fury. It sends those off just randomly, which is, yeah, I don't know that it's sending that off. It doesn't give a shit about procs. Like I'll be 5-stack Bone Grinder, have a killing machine I could use, and it won't do it. So you're not very often going to do that. See that just there on that pool, sent off a pillar by accident, just in the middle of nowhere. Did I even get? I actually got 5 stacks, thankfully. But that could have ended badly if this was a high key. Obviously, you would never use this in a high key ever. I think it goes without saying. I don't need to tell any of you guys this. But I mean, if you actually have no idea how to play a class, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I've seen some videos of people doing some silly numbers and actually pumping and finishing the dungeon on decent damage. I think casters would be alright with this because their global cooldown doesn't really matter too much, because if you're casting long cast all the time, your cooldown's ready. It's ready to go next time. But with a melee character, no good. Because you want to, especially for something like DK, where there was almost always something to press. And next patch, when Frost DK gets a rework, there'll be even more stuff that you want to press constantly. So I don't know how well that's going to work with this single button rotation, but I mean, it does do a lot of what you need it to do. So it sends your cooldowns. The only thing actually touching on the cooldowns, it doesn't do your big cooldowns. So this run, I literally press nothing apart from the one button rotation, and you'll get all the DPS to that right at the end as well. And then I did the cooldowns that it wouldn't press, so things like Empower, Rune Weapon. Don't know why it doesn't press that. Trinket, A-Bomb Limb, I had to res someone, so we'll count that in as well, and then defensive. So I had to press all of those, but for this entire dungeon, I didn't press anything else other than the one button rotation. So at the end, we'll have a look at the overall and we'll see how much we can get. One thing I'm quite excited to see is how it's going to tackle this 2-target boss fight and see if it puts down like Death and Decay, see if it cleaves or anything like that. So the one thing I want to try and, yeah, there you go. One thing I wanted to try and do was just keep my Icy Talon stacks, and it did. It kept up with Obliterate. But yeah, now it doesn't actually sense those 2 targets, and it doesn't feel like it needs to do Death and Decay. I wonder why. You would want to do Death and Decay here, always. Especially if I'm about to burst. Right now, you would most certainly want Death and Decay up first, so I can have all of my Obliterates cleave. And one thing that also sucks is the fact that this single button assistant casts your cooldowns first, and then a lot of your abilities that you want during your cooldowns after. So, for example, we would not cast things like Death and Decay after Pillar of Frost. That just wouldn't really make much sense unless you were playing the Long Winter, then you would. But other than that, you do Death and Decay first, then Pillar, and then go straight into your cleaving, and then do your Death and Decay again when it runs out, so you can double. But you want to spend almost all your globals in Pillar doing something that either generates you a Killer Machine proc or spends one. But yeah, with this 2-target cleave fight, it doesn't really look like it's doing anything other than regular single target damage. Doing okay on this pack. Not too bad here. I mean, literally bottom DPS. Actually, no, I take that all back. It fucking sucks. Let's have a look and see what type of damage you can pump out on the boss and see if that is any better. There you go. So right now we've got nothing. We have like no cooldowns. Can't do anything with it. So what's the AoE rotation here? Realistically, this boss, you're going to be wanting to... I want to consume those shattering stacks. Like, they're just flashing in my face, and I can't consume them because it's not going to let me. So basically, the funny thing it did, it would sit on 100 runic power if I had runes that I could spend. So it wasn't weaving in and out, and that's something that I live by. So it really pissed me off. So yeah, it didn't really give a shit about overcapping or anything like that, which is weird. But now we've got cooldowns, it kind of does something. However, again, unless you know that it's about to send like the frost worm, something like that, you could quite easily miss loads of stuff, and that's a massive DPS loss just in itself there. But it's definitely not holding itself up versus this marksmanship hunter. But the marksmanship hunter is a very good one, so because I know them, so I'm not surprised. But you'd think it would keep up with some damage because I mean, I'd say that 3.6 mil is not even some damage. Shit damage. Big pack coming up now. Don't fuck about. Hopefully the one button assistant is going to come in clutch here. We'll see. Got 20 seconds to any cooldowns come up, so I don't know what it's going to press next. So instantly goes in with D&D. No! That means that I'm going to have one charge of D&D when my cooldowns come off, but the one button assistant, I wouldn't expect to know that. It sits on 100 runic power the whole time, but it's not even trying to pop that shatter stack. And I'm shattering blade, obviously, otherwise the weak I wouldn't be there. And because of that, I just think it's a bit annoying. I may as well just not have that talent and it'd be fine. Same with the shattering frost. Because of that, I never get any benefit from shattering frost or shattered blade. But eventually our cooldowns come back and do manage to pump. We're now top DPS using the single button rotation. What the fuck? Managed to top that pack. Is it dead? Guess it's alright. However, it doesn't like the damage that's come from that has been entirely Reaper's Mark, which is literally one button. Right, let's see. Just pick my nose. Right, let's see how our single target fares, because this is a pure single target boss fight. Let's see how it goes down. We have all our cooldowns as well, or at least some of them, but just Pillar and Reaper, it looks like. So obviously Trinket, it doesn't actually pop the Trinket without me doing it itself. Is it ever gonna pop those shatter stacks? No. So do you see that? Like, you see the action tracker at the bottom there. If if I didn't have that action tracker, I'd actually have no idea what I was pressing. So it's a good thing I've got that for my own sake. But we're top DPS. And now we're not. We were doing okay at the start there with our cooldowns, I think. But as soon as everybody else got theirs, we've just been absolutely gapped. And we will do by this hunter. So it also counts A-Bomb Limb as like a spell that you don't touch. I've got a theory that the only reason it's doing something like this, and it's not actually including the coding, is because it's getting a rework, there's no point coding it in there to do it, because it'll be in the wrong space and I'll just have to recode it afterwards. So A-Bomb Limb is gone, that's why it doesn't want to cast A-Bomb Limb in AoE, and Empowering Weapon will be different, that's why it doesn't want to cast Empowering Weapon either. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. Anyway, it also doesn't want to cast Soul Reaper, which is weird. It never casts Soul Reaper. You'd think if it can code it for warriors to cast Execute, it can code it so that it casts Soul Reaper. But maybe the game doesn't think Soul Reaper is a big DPS increase at all, so it just doesn't press it. Anyway, yeah, look at that. At the end of this single target boss fight, it also, one of the biggest pet peeve is that it will cast your like major cooldowns at the end. And there's nothing, you can't really stop that, of course. Like, it's not going to have a look at the boss's HP. I mean, could do, but it doesn't like to, it likes to cast cooldowns ASAP all the time. How's it going to fare in this pack then? One button. You could probably just macro it onto something, onto like a mouse that just repeatedly presses the button, and then you just never. All you have to do is literally just move. It's doing okay here. I think, I don't know if that's because we have cooldowns or not, but I mean, it seems like with this, if you are just able to press your own cooldowns at the right time, then you can make it do some decent damage. Like, that's not bad damage, but I did have every single cooldown available apart from Frostworm and Fury, so I don't know how much of a difference that made. Moving on to the last boss now. So we're close to revealing how much the overall was and whether or not this is the new meta. Is single button assisting going to be the new meta going forward? You just press this all the time, and then you just literally all you have to think about is mechanics. It'd be unbelievable. I mean, it'd be crazy if that is the case. But if it is, that's some tech. You're just never going to play the game. Is that the right way, the right direction that the game should be heading? I'm not personally a big fan of something like that, where there's no more skill. It's literally just you moving. Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense, considering this is supposed to be like an action. No, not an action. Just like some sort of an RPG. An RPG where your moves actually matter. The buttons that you press actually matter. Because right now, if you just have the one button assistant, then it will never matter. So you see there, I saw that it had a 5-stack of bone grinder and I had loads of time to do it, and every time I pressed that button, it wouldn't be obliterate. So annoying. Anyway, we're doing dog shit damage. This can't go on like this, surely. We're getting close to the end of the boss fight now. And we have only climbed a little bit. We're now almost just shy 2 mil. So overall, where are we at? I don't know about that. That is not very tasty. That does not look very good. 3.6 mil. You can see the damage breakdown here. Shattered Frost is nowhere to be seen. It really neglects Frost Strike for some reason. Everything else did okay damage. I'm surprised how much damage Cryogenic Chamber did. That is pretty decent. But yeah, not really something you want to be using. Don't use this. Just play normally. Just learn the rotation. You'll be fine. Believe me. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.